Hello, have you ever had experience where you have to tell somebody, I knew it. I knew he would behave like this. I knew he would say this type of thing. I knew he will act this particular way. Now, it's important we understand that these things are what we call self-confirming prophecy. It does not mean that you knew. It is just that past experiences has colored your perception and the judgment of individuals. And for some reason, because you have already been orientated, you have already been conditioned to expect the best or the worst from people, you kind of induce that result. Do you know that to a very large extent, the experiences you have in your life is created by you? There's something about you that anticipates disappointment before it comes. There's something about you that anticipates success before it comes. There's something about you that anticipates growth, promotion before it comes. There's something about you that anticipates failure, catastrophe before it comes. Some people call it sixth sense. But I want you to understand that it is the dynamics of life that because we are so connected, there's so much aspect of your life that you are not aware of. There's some senses that you are not cognitively or logically aware of. You have some senses, you have some levels of perception, you have some sense organs that you are not aware of by being conscious of it on a voluntary level. So, for that reason, when you begin to expect the best from somebody, you kind of induce the best to happen through that person. When you begin to have a degree of fear, doubt about somebody, even if the person is a good person, do you know that that sense, that feeling of uncertainty, that feeling of fear, that feeling of doubt you have towards that person begins to create an atmosphere, begins to create a dynamic, begin to create a kind of an electromagnetic configuration that will kind of initiate an occasion, a circumstance that will make something to happen that will lead to you saying, I knew it. I knew he would behave like this. I had this feeling about this thing. I had never been comfortable about this. It is not because the thing is bad by itself, but because somehow you have contributed in manifesting. So, for that reason, how can you say that you are innocent in the occurrence of bad things when you have a premonition about it, when you have a kind of a sense, a sixth sense about it? How can you say you are innocent? And how can you avoid it? You understand? Um, Recently, there's a very tragic news that has spread in the social media. That is the news about Davido's son's death. Now, one of the reactions came from a pastor who claims that he prophesied about the death of this child a few months ago, and it has come to pass. You know, from the pastor's comment, he said the video should come for more prayers so that this type of thing will not happen again. Now, I want us to understand that this incident is tragic, no doubt about it. The pastor's prophecy, or whatever he may call it, is obviously a game of maybe law or a game that can be understood. Let's say he is truly a prophet. But that is not what I want to say here. The pastor is a prophet. He prophesied about something which he kind of he saw in a vision or he felt by his sixth sense. Now, his kind of prophesying about it sets into motion an expectation of a tragedy surrounding Davido coming from his own end. So is the pastor innocent in the real sense of the word? Because when you say somebody will die, you begin to look for that person to die, right? You begin to send in thoughts. You begin to send in thoughts of expectations, feelings of seeing something bad happen to the person, seeing the person die. Now, if that person end up dying, or if that person end up having a problem as you have prophesied, you will now say your prophecy has come to pass. Without understanding that you contributed to the prophecy happening by inducing it electromagnetically, by inducing it psychologically, by inducing it by the feeling dimension. Remember, life is governed by emotions, and by electromagnetic waves. In fact, the thing we see in the physical world, the things we can touch and feel, is the last part of what is really happening or what is really manifesting these things we see. So for that reason, it is important that we understand that when we have uncomfortable feelings about a particular thing, that the best way is not either to fight it or to avoid it, but to. So for that reason, if you have a uncomfortable feeling about something, maybe you have a bad dream, or maybe you have a very uneasy feeling about a particular thing, the best approach, I'm not telling you the truth, the best approach is not to avoid it or to fight it. The best approach is to kind of allow it, yield to it, embrace it, let that energy exhaust itself. Because so long as you're fighting that energy of fear, that energy of dread, so long as you're fighting it, you are creating more ripple that is connected to that thing that you are afraid of. You are creating that. If you, just like there's a classic book they called "The Gods Are Not to Blame." The effort of the protagonist there was to make sure he never killed his father. In fact, it is that effort of it to never kill. It was prophesied that he will kill his father and marry his mother. Now he did everything to make sure that never happened, and his efforts to make sure that thing never happened ended up making that thing happen. It's a very powerful book. And it teaches a huge lesson about this idea of prophecy and this idea of manifestation. It is important to understand that you are responsible for what is happening around you. Please stop claiming, stop pushing the blame to the demons, pushing the blame to different things. Learn to create an atmosphere of expectation of pleasure, expectation of success. If you cannot create that, if the fear of failure comes into you, learn to embrace it and allow that energy to flow through you. Okay, it's like I'm going to fail. Okay, let me breathe in the failure and breathe it out. Let the energy wash through you until you can no more feel that feeling again. It's not going to stay with you. Don't fight it. Because the more you fight it, the more you make it stronger. The more you try to avoid it, the more you make it stronger. For some reason, energies like to be allowed to express themselves. The energy of fear, the energy of anger, the energy of jealousy, the energy of dread, whatever energy, they like to be given space to express themselves, to exhaust themselves, to release. Energy is nothing but contraction, pressure, contraction of activity. Hey, listen to me. When you compress something and the limit is freedom, when you limit its freedom, that's what produces energy. And so what happens? What it's looking for is space to be free, to be set free. Explosion is nothing but when it has opportunity, it sets itself free, blows away every barriers. So allow this energy the opportunity to release itself, and then you will notice that that which you are afraid will never come to pass. That which you are afraid will never. So if that which you are afraid of, are you listening to me, is haunting you, stop, turn back and face it. Allow it to wash through you. Let it do its work. That is the greatest power you can get in life now. Because by the time the energy has been released, you will discover that you are a free man. You are free, that what you are afraid of is nothing but fear. That there is no substance inside the energy. There's no substance inside the energy of fear. There's no demon inside the energy of fear, inside the energy of dread. It is just nothing but energy. It's a pocket of compressed freedom. Energy is nothing but compressed freedom, seeking for space and opportunity to release itself, to enjoy its freedom. So you see, next time you have a very dreadful dream, relax. Next time you have a very dreadful dream, imagine yourself experiencing the dreadful dream to the fullest. Let the energy pass you by. You understand? Next time you even have a very pleasurable dream, you don't need to work on that thing for it to happen. You need to allow the energy to release itself. Let the energy release. You don't know how far it will go. If you allow the energy, even if bad thing later happens, you will be more equipped, stronger than ever to handle it. Not because you have been trying to fight against it or avoid it, no, but because you have already imbibed the energy. You have already built up a stamina of strength within you that is based on freedom, that is based on peace, that's based on space. You have, let me tell you a simple truth. You have space. When you see somebody is powerful emotionally, when you see somebody is powerful psychologically, it's not because the person has any emotional muscle or psychological muscle. No, it's just simple. The person has literally managed to expand his awareness to the point where these things, these waves of emotion that used to throw people all around, can comfortably pass through him without throwing him left and right, because there's enough space for the energy of fear, the energy of anger to pass through. It's not that the person has developed any special muscle. There's no substance inside there. There's no special ability. It's just that space. So have you created enough space in yourself, in your spirit, in your mind, in your body that will allow you to pass through? Let's have a wonderful day today.